Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to this little thing I have always called the Traumatic Cinematic Show. I am your horrible hunk of a host, Mugumbo, and with me tonight are two trusty sidekicks, my 6 shooters on my hips. On my right, I have from Delaware, the mayor of Podcastville himself, B. Keith Hughes.
Glad to be back.
Back in the saddle once again, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. Also, folks, you will remember him from a few episodes back. He should be a familiar voice. He has made a couple guest appearances since. He was a former co-host and a co-host once again, Mr. Mike, the good guy, Wickliff.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. You couldn't keep me away that long. And yes, I did just wave at my computer.
Hi. Like, you know, I actually saw that. It's like, hi. I'm looking at IMDb and Skype. I don't know why I'm waving at you, but, Mike, it is good to have you back, sir. You bring that element of Criterion Collection, to the, I don't know, like, Keith here, he gives us that Ivy League flavor. It's kind of like a basil leaf where you got to pull it out before you eat the dish, right? Like, cause otherwise it'll be too much Ivy League-ness. Whereas Mike brings the, little bit of the Criterion, the highbrow without the fancy papers, possibly. Maybe?
I think that was a compliment.
I think, is that, was that a compliment, Keith? I think.
I'm going to reserve comment on it. I think
he's like, Mr. Ivy League. He's talking with the lawyers. He's
how
like,
much smarter Keith is than I am. So.
No, I've listened to the show back when you guys did the show before I was on the show, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm, I helped pick out the movie this week. So and it was a gamble, and I wanted, I'm definitely interested to see what both of your takes. So I thought
it's one that's been in my Netflix queue for a long time.
To be honest with you, and folks at home, dun. We'll see. Is Keith on his game? The mayor of Podcastville, Ivy League himself? Is he prepared? The movie we are going to discuss tonight is Mr. Nobody.
Yay! Sorry, yes. I felt like there needed to be a yay right there.
No, there's supposed to be the trailer and okay, so
no, hey, hold up.
Oh no, see the screen.
Quiet. I'm 34. I was born February 9th, 1975. Who are you? I'm Mr. Nobody, a man who doesn't exist.
We don't know who Mr. Nobody is. Neither does he. Our patient's memories are confused.
So, Nemo, have you made up your mind? Do you want to come with me, or do you want to stay with your father?
I'm so intrigued.
We cannot go back. That's why it's hard to choose.
Nemo!
You have to make the right choice. As long as you don't choose, everything remains possible.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Did you stay with your father or go with your mother?
Remember.
Oh, Nemo, I want you.
I want you to.
For as much as Anna and Nemo had consented together in holy wedlock, for as much as Elise and Nemo, Jean and Nemo, have joined themselves to each other.
Everything that you say is contradictory. Of all those lives, which one is the right one?
Nemo, do you love me?
I couldn't live without you.
You're the first and last person I'll ever love.
I love you. I'm not afraid of death. afraid I haven't been alive enough.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you've gathered, we watched a film about a little clownfish with a flipper that isn't quite as big as his other flipper.
Well, Nemo actually is Latin to nobody.
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, now what you got to ask yourself is...
Did you learn that when you were pledging for your fraternity? Or
No, I took 3 years of Latin in high school. And I also took ancient Greek when I was in college.
I just read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
See, they quit, when I was in high school, they quit teaching Latin. They taught, computer programming instead. They said, if you're going to learn a obscure language, this will get you further in life. Oh, anyways,
apparently, well,
that was that. No, hey, I didn't say I did any good in it at all, by no means. Oh goodness, how did this get to this point? See, Mike, this is what happens. Like I went away for a little while, and ladies and gentlemen, in case you hadn't noticed, it's been a while since we've come together to talk around a film and never actually discuss it. Cause it is a fine art to talk for 60 minutes without actually discussing the film and topic. But we've been away for a while. We did this crazy fucking experiment. Keith, me, and, some other dude, we took a fucking shit ton of peyote and like fucking hit live on a microphone for 20 episodes. And it was a hell of a trip. And here we are back to basics again.
Well, and, stuff changes and evolves and it grows.
And that's something that makes Traumatic Cinematic amazing. It's completely organic. And it's, Traumatic Cinematic started off as like, I want to talk about scary movies. I like scary movies. My wife's got a bunch of scary movies and I like talk, and then it turned into this, that, or another, into a half a dozen billion different crazy things. And here we are at this stage of the game. Whereas Traumatic Cinematic has become a brand, not really a description. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I have at least 2 T-shirts with a Traumatic Cinematic brand on them. So
I have at least one.
Oh well, Keith, I'm sorry. You're actually missing out. We have the paraphernalia of Traumatic Cinematic has grown quite a bit in the time that you have been vacationing in the Hamptons. And what?
I just thought it was
I'm sorry. Actually, I guess you can't vacation in the Hamptons when you live in the Hamptons, right?
I don't live in the Hamptons. I was in Disney, and then I was on the beach in Delaware.
I'm sorry. I'm actually being so like, Keith, I'm not trying to make you the whipping boy.
No, it's all right. You can make me the whipping boy. But I'll fire back. I'll say I definitely got a couple responses from you. You got to take some great pictures at the beach because I've never seen the water.
Well, I haven't. I've seen the flood waters when, you guys get ravaged by hurricanes and shit like that. And I'm like, ha ha.
And when I was in Disney, I heard you got to get a drink with a umbrella in it.
Yeah, and you never take a picture of one.
But I drink beer. I'm not putting an umbrella in beer.
Yeah, I didn't, actually, that wasn't me. I said I wanted you to get a selfie in front of all the different countries of the beers you drank from. And you did for a couple, so I'll give you that, sir.
Actually, I took pictures of all of them, but I use Untapped. So, I feel like less of an alcoholic when I do it around other alcoholics. So, at that point, it's, it's okay because we all pat each other.
Did you see?
That's a good one.
While you were down there, did you see an albino? When you were at Disney, and I apologize. I should have let you know at the beginning of your trip that was your scavenger hunt, like Mecca, like gold star, like platinum, fucking, free spin kind of thing, right? Is you find an albino. If you find a family of albinos and get a picture of them at Disney, fucking kudos indeed, sir. But just to get a picture of one real albino is quite a feat. That's a game I play at every large function that I go to. when you look at statistics, it's like 1 in 100,000 or 250,000 people are albino. So,
so if you want to talk about, kind of a crazy Disney thing that kind of ties into the traumatic cinematic thing. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Escape from Tomorrow?
Yes. I actually just watched it the other day.
Yeah, it's on my list to watch, and maybe we should watch it because that might be the closest Lewis ever is allowed to get to Disney. So maybe we should watch it. I mean, it's sort of a guerrilla Disney movie, and basically the premise of it is that some guy is losing his job, but he's in Disney, and he spends like this surreal day at Disney. And they did it all guerrilla style, like all the video.
Oh, yes, I've seen. Yeah, and the picture on Netflix is the Mickey's hand with blood dripping off the fingers.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's also the Blu-ray cover. I bought it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
because I had to toss it in there because
wow,
I haven't said
you guys are
Mike and I are like kindred spirits here. I can see
well, there's a reason I've been trying to keep you guys apart from each other.
Is it if we touch, will we explode?
I don't know.
No, you will multiply.
Oh.
Which is way more terrifying.
And maybe a little.
Well, I mean, explosion comes first, then multiplication.
Wait. Anyway, but no, Escape from Tomorrow, I really liked it. It's basically one guy's mental breakdown for an hour and a half. It's bizarre.
And there was something about like 2 hot like French chicks in it or something.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I kind of wonder, do they know they are in the film? Did he just like creepily go around and film these 2 chicks?
No, they were cast actresses.
They were cast. Okay. So, but I think that might be a fun one to do. Just.
I'm definitely in for that.
Well, you know what? We should have picked a movie for this week.
We did.
Oh, well, I know. It was an aside, but we brought it up about vacation, so I tied it into.
Like that's crazy because you.
Well, if you want to talk about vacation, we could always do National Lampoon.
Oh wow! You know what? Like out of all the Lampoons, I cannot. I know that this is probably like. I mean, Christmas Vacation is the best of them all. Is the absolute finest of all the vacations. I mean, just like. There's no question.
Is that the one where they? I want
what Christmas Vacation? There isn't. There isn't. Is that the one with the Easter Bunny?
I'm not that big a Chevy Chase fan, so
what?
I'm not. Sorry.
What? Oh, dude, really?
But yes, that is the one where he wants to see.
Mike,
the Christmas
I had people say that about my house at Christmas.
How do we get this? How do we get this guy on the show? He's like, Christmas Vacation, is that the one with Beverly Angelo D?
Not all of us can love things like Three Amigos and
exactly.
But this is the part of the show where I derail us onto every possible side movie I can think of. So
I mean Christmas Vacation. I can't help it. I love Vegas Vacation. The original National Lampoons when they go to Wally World should be the coup d'etat, or.
When you talk about all the possibilities, that's what this movie we're talking about this week is about.
It is. It's about options or the lack of.
And that is how you set up a transition.
We could pretend like we talked about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation in Vegas or whatever.
And
then we can also pretend like we didn't. It's like amazing.
Whoa!
And then at the very end of the podcast, we'll realize that we didn't talk about any of it, and it's all just Louis sitting there trying to figure out what we're going to talk about.
Spoilers! This film is about regret. This film is about the fear of regret. It is Mr. Nobody is. They want to wrap it up like this big like Christmas present of what if possibilities, but it's the fear of making a bad choice.
So I'll give you the one phrase that came up. I'm going to mispronounce it. Zugzwang.
Which is a chess move. Where is the best move you can make. And which is funny.
No,
sometimes.
No.
The best move you can make is no move at all.
Is no move.
Yes.
And any move you make is not going to be good. And I play a lot of chess, so I thought that was kind of a interesting.
Well, it's because that's when you're better off to just if you have to forfeit or at least call a truce or whatnot.
But see, I've never agreed with that principle because not making a choice is making a choice. You're making the choice not to choose, which is, it's a third choice.
If every choice you make leads in being checkmated, then you should not make any of them. You should stop.
Well, then you've still been checkmated.
Yes, but that's weird. That's why they have a term for it, Mike.
I understand that.
They don't make words for up. They don't make up words for things that don't exist.
Yeah, you're saying that's
LOL.
It's a misapplication of the term, really.
Well, I mean, the term is accurate, and their use of it is accurate, but it's a bullshit premise.
No, because in Zugzwang, what it means is, or I know I'm mispronouncing it. It means you only have one choice, and it's a poor one, or you could have two choices, but either one you make are bad. In this case, it doesn't. It's misapplied. So this is going to be.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah,
because he's got a third choice. So the third choice is divergent. So that's. It's not really, it doesn't really apply, but it's the idea.
Where like basically your queen jumps off your chessboard onto a checkers board.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like like the third choice is, I jumped or something. That's
like folks at home, you're already confused. If you have not watched this film.
And if so, you just got the point of this movie.
I did do my homework. I went and read up like some of the other reviews and some of the other comments and other people's experiences.
You get a whole bunch of Michio Kaku string theory books and.
Well, no, like a couple things that I had seen different people write about was that when they saw like a screeners in their different towns or these special like showings of it their art house theaters, that people got up and left like before the last 20 minutes of the film. And they're like, I just couldn't understand. How can you do that? And I was like, I got it. You have to finish it because that's what ties it all together. It makes you go, holy shit, I got to watch this again. Right?
Well, but if they can't keep you trying to figure it out,
it really try it. I think it goes out of its way to try to lose you at a couple points. It really,
and then it buttons it all up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it does. And that makes it all the more satisfying.
All right, so let's reserve the, I guess. I'll ask. In previous versions, we've not given away the story until the second half, and we said if you haven't watched it, then go take a nap or something. but basically, so what we'll. Because I'd actually like to talk about what you guys think really happened.
I mean, Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. It isn't, like there was like, and you guys have known me long enough that I hate the Wizard of Oz fucking ending. I hate the, and then there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And I wake up and you were there. And that, I don't feel like that's what this gave us.
No,
but it really was close. It really teeter-tottered on that. Fuck you. You gave me, there's other movies that are longer than this. Actually, the new, Transformers movies, 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This film, this is like a fucking short compared to that.
Yeah, but this felt long.
This felt like Days. This felt Dances of the Wolves long.
All right, so let's get into some critique here. I mean, first off, this movie came out in 2009. It won like an award. It was done by Jacques von Dormail. And
actually, what, guys? When you say it won an award, we're going to do this for 2015. We're going to come up with we're going to have 10 awards that we're going to give out. And I'll make a traumatic cinematic with the little gold, feathers going around it or whatever the fuck that is, the little crest. And we'll give them out and people will put them on their films and tell people they won awards. Because, Keith said, he's like, this is the best film I watched on the shitter all year long, and then, that'd be the award.
Best shitter film is definitely a good category. So
it is. And that, something that not a lot of people get nominated for.
Okay, so it sounds like Keith has something he actually wants to say about the movie. So
No. This won in the Venice Film Festival in 2009, and it was the highest at least at the point that it was made, the budget for this movie was the highest of any movie that was made in Belgium. So this is a foreign movie, actually, but it's the director, I think, is more influenced by French, which a lot of people in Belgium are. And what was interesting about it was it got re-released in 2013. No distributor, nobody wanted to pick this movie up. And it was released originally, I think, in the same year as Inception. And it has a lot of people, all the reviews you'll see, this was like Inception, but better on smaller money. This is like Atlas.
Yeah.
You've seen, those type of...
The trick is nobody wanted it until Jared Leto did Dallas Buyers Club.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
But you know what? Speaking of that, it's funny how this ties back to a film that is one of my most hated films.
Are you about to say Requiem for a Dream?
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It's good, but it's dark.
Yeah, it's fucking dark. All right.
I gotta go see. I think I've seen. Oh, geez, let me pull that. You guys talk.
He's a heroin junkie, and it's got.
It's got a Wayne's brother in it that's not funny at all.
I gotta go see this. Don't ruin that one for me.
It's worth watching.
If I told you the ending, you wouldn't fucking believe me.
I like dark endings. I like.
Good.
Don't do anything depressing that day.
Yeah, well, good.
Fill your day full of puppies and rainbows before you watch the movie, because it may be the only way to make it through.
Oh man, it's one of those few films that I borrowed from somebody that gave it to me to watch, and I almost broke it. If it had been my own, I would have snapped it in half. That way, I never let anybody else But there's way worse
Ellen
stuff out
Burstyn
there.
get an Oscar nomination for it?
Oh, sure. Probably because her tush was
for one Oscar.
free.
It was one Oscar nomination, and it was for
best double-headed dildo penetration.
You're right.
And she was awesome. But everybody in that movie was awesome.
I gotta go watch it now.
It's Aronofsky, right?
It was.
Have you seen Trainspotting? If you haven't seen Trainspotting, okay, you've seen.
No, I've not. No, I've not. I don't think I have. No.
Then don't watch that film. Go watch Trainspotting, because if you want to see a film about a bunch of heroin junkies, at least that one will make you enjoy at least a little bit of it.
I think I'll like the Requiem for a Dream a lot if it's dark.
Yeah. Well, I bet you will. I bet you'll love it.
I like dark movies, so.
Oh, just make sure you get a big bowl of popcorn for. Anyways, so
I can guess why you don't like it. There's probably something awful in it that you don't like it.
Oh yeah, well, it would only take something especially awful to make me fucking hate something, right? So I guess that's your like Cracker Jack treat is when you figure out that's what Lewis fucking hates about this film.
I'll pull it.
No. Actually, next week when we come back, I want you to tell everybody. No, that's going to be like that little treat for everyone. Everyone that's already seen the film already knows what Lewis fucking hates about this film. So you go ahead. No. Actually, I think it'll make me smile because after some of the other shit we've seen, it's so mild now. Actually, I could probably laugh about it.
Anyway,
but for a day, no. I mean, just there's much worse. Just when you think you've seen the worst that you could see, there's worse than that, right? And it just
Anyway, so
let's
talk about the actual movie again.
Which is
Mr. Nobody.
Mr. Johnny Neutron. No, Adult Swim. No.
So I'll get into
Wrestling?
a couple things that I critique about this. Now, what I personally think that puts me off to this movie is the fact that I never really cared about any of the characters. Maybe I cared about the 15-year-old Nemo when he was, with was it Anna at that point that suddenly became his sister.
Yeah, that's Anna.
It's
Anna. That was probably the only part of the movie we actually cared about. character, because one of the things about the movie was he literally became different people, so you couldn't recognize. I mean, unless you were taking the existential viewpoint that you were lifting yourself above and looking at the tapestry of all of these lives like coexisting or whatnot, you never felt like you were vested with the character. The only character you could have vested with was the old guy, 118 years old. So, but for me, that's where I think that this movie lacked a little bit. You never were vested. You went on a 140-minute ride and you never cared about it. And then even in that, I think there's a little bit of brilliance because to some extent, this is all the possibilities in life. And kind of at the end of the day, they're saying they're equally valid. Like all of these things that could have happened, no one choice is any better than the other. They're just the things that happened.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it is a movie about regret. I think it's a movie that is the whole point, I think, is, these are your choices. You've made them. Don't think about what if, it's not going to be, it's not going to be any better or worse. It just is.
No, it's weighing all those choices out, and it's the fear of regret is to not make the decision and to run all the different choices out in your head, right?
That was all encapsulated in that one moment.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying.
That was the crucial moment of, do I go with my mom or do I go with my dad?
This film is a double watcher. This is one of those films that you can sit there and watch it attentively all the way through, and until the last 10, 15 minutes, you are just kind of like, what the fuck is what the fuck? Like, and then it ties it all up, and then you're like, ah. And then when you watch it again, I think it just, like, you really can appreciate the different nuances of all the different possibilities. It's,
and honestly, the one thing I didn't really like about the different possibilities is the sci-fi one. The
real that he threw that in to throw you off, I think, because it was actually imagined. It wasn't real.
Right. It's a story that he's telling.
Yeah. It was just, yeah.
But to put it in there like it's one of the other possibilities, there's maybe that potential of, if you've ever read, the comic book for the Watchmen, how there's the curse of the Black Freighter. I've forgotten the actual title of the story, but there's a story about the Black Freighter that kind of parallels the other story. And there's some potential where maybe this is a parallel to what's happening in the rest of the movie, but it never really kind of comes together.
Well, you could say that, I mean, not that you wanted this to be longer, but there was the ability to flush out a whole bunch of things that they left.
They really made it feel like you lived a fucking 1,000 lifetimes.
That was kind of the idea, though.
I know, but what a horrible way to do it. Like, not horrible. They really, I never realized how delicate editing is and how you can let a scene run just a couple seconds too long. And if you do that on like 25 scenes together, like 25 like sequences, it just makes it all drag, right? And that's what, and what you're right. That's what they're trying to get you vested in that. Oh man.
So let's just take a step back for a second and look
rough.
At the director. The director, Jaco van Dormael, I guess that's how you pronounce it. He actually, this came out in 2009. His last movie before that was 1996, The Eighth Day. And I think he ran into all kinds of trouble of getting this produced and dating back to 2001, but he had a lot of time to devise a story that was going to fuck with a lot of people. And I think that's what he was going for here ultimately at the end of the day.
Wow, what a ballsy way. And that's a French way of thinking. French art house is like, fuck commercialism. We want to make that brain fucking twist, that holy shit, you know, kind of like ending that even with the horror, you know, that's the way they were doing the horror, you know, over the top and just so raw and gritty. This kind of had that, like, it just,
I agree. It was, but I still
there were some pretty nasty moments. Like, so some of the tangents were pretty grim and dark. Him drowning, the tanker blowing up and him holding his wife, you know, limp in his arms.
But there was a whole bunch of times he got into water, and it was like in that, you know, I read lots of stuff on this, but, and it kind of, you kind of think about how long he had to do this, and you kind of think, yeah, he probably did put it in that way. There was a recurring theme with the water and his helplessness with it. You know, the helplessness, there was a recurring theme of him, you know, having this thing that was, you know, he drowned in it, he this, he that, you know, he couldn't swim, you know, this water thing was his, like, you know, nemesis in some way throughout multiple lives.
But is it that the water was actually his nemesis, or is it that it could have been anything, he just happened to pick water, and then for consistency, it had to be water all the way through? Because, I mean, if you go back and you look at the way the movie ends, and where we are with what actually is going on, it would make sense that a 9-year-old boy wouldn't know how to swim, and therefore would be kind of afraid of the water. And if it all stems from there, then it kind of makes sense. If it just kind of carries through.
So what we should probably, you know, I'm going to make a suggestion. Let's take the break, and then we'll come back and then talk about those theories.
Ooh, very excellent idea, Keith. And stay tuned for whatever tidbits we shove deep inside of this episode. Stay tuned.
Mr. Nobody, c'est quelqu'un, c'est personne, c'est 100 millions de personnes, c'est toutes les vies possibles. Et à la fois, ici, c'est celui qui n'a jamais existé. Un vieillard, en 2092, dont on n'a aucune trace du passé, dont on ne sait pas qui il est, et qui se souvient d'une multitude de vies sans savoir s'il y en a une là-dedans qui est vraie ou pas.
So, Nemo, if you made up your mind, do you want to come with me or do you want to stay with your father? We cannot go back. That's why it's hard to choose.
Nemo!
You have to make the right choice. As long as you don't choose, everything remains possible.
C'est une histoire qui est construite comme une arborescence. Tu vois, contrairement à un scénario qui est construit de façon convergente, c'est un film qui est construit beaucoup plus comme une arborescence sur la multitude des possibles, un peu comme un labyrinthe ou un jeu vidéo. Ça parle de toutes les vies possibles que pourrait avoir un personnage à un moment donné d'un choix ou d'une bifurcation. Ça parle au départ le point de départ, c'est un enfant sur le quai d'une gare qui doit choisir entre partir avec sa mère ou rester avec son père. Comme le choix est impossible, il y a deux vies qui se présentent à lui, une avec sa mère au Canada, une avec son père en Angleterre, avec un océan qui les sépare. Mais c'est pas deux vies, en fait, parce que dans chacune des vies, il rencontre ou ne rencontre pas une fille à qui il dit ou pas la phrase qu'il faut, qui fera qu'elle tombe ou pas amoureuse de lui, et que ou pas il aura des enfants avec elle ou avec une autre. Et donc c'est le fait que au moment de cette bifurcation, il n'y a pas de vie possible, mais il y a une infinité de vies d'un côté, une infinité de vies de l'autre côté, et qu'elles sont finalement peut-être incomparables et que peut-être tous les choix sont le bon. Effectivement, dans toutes ces vies, il y a de l'amour. Parfois partagé, parfois pas partagé. Il y a trois femmes principales que l'enfant croise sur un banc, trois petites filles. Il y en a une qui a une robe rouge, une robe bleue et une robe jaune, et qui donnera naissance à trois histoires d'amour et d'adultes, selon qui choisit l'une ou l'autre. C'est aussi trois relations amoureuses qui sont dans l'équilibre ou le déséquilibre amoureux. Il s'aime, elle l'aime. Il l'aime, elle n'est pas tout à fait sûre de l'aimer. Elle l'aime, et lui n'est pas tout à fait sûr de l'aimer. Donc ça parle aussi du malentendu amoureux, du déséquilibre amoureux ou de l'équilibre réciproque. Je suis fasciné en fait par l'enfance, l'adolescence parce que c'est l'âge effectivement des bifurcations, l'âge des grands changements, l'âge des directions, sans savoir pourquoi, sans savoir où on va. Mais en tout cas, il y a énormément de choses très déterminantes, ne fût-ce que dans les premières expériences, dans les premiers amours, dans la puissance des premiers amours, dans le fait que c'est un âge où on est très proche de ses émotions. Aussi les histoires d'amour, d'adolescence, c'est submergent, c'est extrêmement puissant. Et ici, les adultes vivent quelque part avec la continuation, avec une espèce de résonance de ces amours d'adolescents, soit en regret, soit en continuité, soit en manque.
Hello, Nemo. I want you.
I want you too.
For as much as Anna and Nemo had consented together in holy wedlock, for as much as Elise and Nemo,
Jean and Nemo have joined themselves to each other.
Everything that you say is contradictory. Of all those lives, which one is the right one?
Moi, ce qui m'intéresse dans le cinéma, c'est quand ça m'échappe. C'est vrai que techniquement, je peux contrôler. Techniquement, je peux dire, on enlève 2 images, on rajoute ceci, on décale, on fait un travelling, on emploie le 50 mm, on fait un contrôle. Enfin, je peux contrôler techniquement des choses. Mais la chose là qui me fascine le plus, c'est la chose qui m'échappe, c'est quand je trouve que c'est beau. Parce que quand c'est beau, je ne sais pas pourquoi je trouve ça beau. C'est comme tomber amoureux, je ne sais pas pourquoi je suis amoureux, mais je sais que je le suis. Et ça, c'est la partie qui m'échappe le plus, mais qui m'intéresse le plus.
Nemo. Do you love me?
I couldn't live without you.
You're the first and last person I'll ever love.
I love you. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid I haven't been alive enough.
Ce que j'aime dans le film surtout, mais moi personnellement, en tant que le réalisateur est celui qui ne sera jamais le spectateur de son film, d'une certaine façon, mais c'est vraiment l'ensemble, c'est vraiment les contrastes, les zones extrêmement écartées et les trous et les liens qui entre ces pôles extrêmement écartés, c'est ça qui me laisse pour moi le plus de place à l'imaginaire en fait. C'est les trous. J'ai toujours du mal à écrire fin à un film. Parce que j'aime bien dans les films, c'est quand il reste longtemps en tête. Je pense que pour moi, le succès d'un film, c'est pas le nombre de spectateurs, c'est combien de temps il reste dans la tête du spectateur qu'il a vu, que je ne connais pas. Et bon, je peux me tromper, mais je pense que ça a un rapport aussi avec les années que j'ai mis à le faire. Que la rémanence dans la mémoire, ça a un rapport avec les années que j'ai mis à le faire.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this show that's still continually called Traumatic Cinematic. Remember, you can find us at traumaticcinematic.com. Find us on Facebook at Traumatic Cinematic. Twitter, TC Podcast Crew. We're talking about a film tonight. A little film called Mr. Nobody. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what Nemo knows. The one-flippered little fish that just swam around in circles. He ain't a clown. He ain't here for your amusement. No, he's a boy that couldn't make up his mind. Yes, no. I don't know. Do you know? We don't know. Mr. Nobody doesn't know. Guys, really, this is the second half of the show. This is where we give out the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, and I don't even know, we could probably spoil this and it's still not make a lick of sense to you.
I'm not sure it's humanly possible to actually really spoil this.
I really don't either, cause it's, at this point, it's about philosophy and,
there is so much interpretation.
They say that the only person that truly knows, what this movie's about is somebody whose father was a clockmaker and his mother's, father was a pinball machine engineer. That's the only people that really can explain how this all works because it's intricate. It's like, what, time?
I thought the reference to Watchmen again.
Watchmen. No, Watchmaker. Watchmaker. Like
his father was a watchmaker.
What about pinball engineer? Really?
No, that threw me. That's
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Yeah, I
all right,
was trying to figure out what he was referencing too. I'm like, there's got to be something here.
Well, because wasn't the big blue guy? His father was a watchmaker.
the Beast?
Yeah, I think he was actually.
He goes. I stopped making watches. What was it? There was a whole thing about
It's
that.
been a while since I read that.
I love that movie. That movie. Yeah,
It was okay. It had its moments where I was like, really? But it was a faithful adaptation of a comic book that everybody has aped all the stories
What?
from since.
It was a comic book?
yeah
Watchmen, yeah.
That was a great comic book.
What, just like one? Like, just
It was
like,
a graphic novel, basically.
ooh, it was a novel with pictures?
Yes.
Is this,
Word,
is
too.
this a new thing?
It was excellent.
Tell me more. No, I'm interested. What is this
I may
novel of
actually pick
graphics
this one.
you speak
You know,
of,
I
sir?
may actually pick this one the next time I get to pick one, just so we can make him watch it.
No.
He'll get upset about the blue testicles, I'm sure.
What? They're not giant, are they?
They're a little large.
He's like, wow, that's one big dick. Yeah, I own it. Thank you.
And it's just a swinging.
It sure is.
I know it's knocking over. It's knocking over skyscrapers.
That guy gives new meaning to blue balls.
Oh, wow.
I should have the sound up for that so I could drum.
The Joker's not funny
Get
at
the sad
all, right?
trombone going.
Or the comic, or the stand-up, Mr. Stand-up,
The comedian.
Mr. Funny Bone. Funny Bone, that's his name, right? Mr. Funny Bone?
No.
You mean the comedian?
No. Mr. Funny Bone.
Jesus.
Just because he's naked doesn't mean his name has the word bone in it.
Hey, good news, guys. We didn't give any of the movie away.
Oh, no. And the movie we're talking about is, Dawn of the, no, it's, Go. No, it's Splice.
Although, speaking of Go, did you notice that, the bipolar, wife is, Sarah Polley?
Sarah Polley, which is in Go. And in Dawn of the Dead. And Splice.
Oh, I forgot she was in Splice.
Well, I'm looking at her IMDb page. That's why those random thoughts I had happened to be her.
She was really good.
I know, but you know what? She's like one of those women that would be like, you're such a good man and you're so good to everybody. I fucking hope you die. Like, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. Like, she like keeps screaming in your face until you like hit her. Like, and you like finally like slap her or she falls to the ground and then like takes everything from you. Like she gives you like 12 years of misery and then you finally backhand her and then she gets everything. That character in this, that character in this film was awful. She was so depressed and just like,
But it didn't seem like that was entirely her fault. There definitely seemed to be something,
it was
either manic
totally her
depression or bipolar disorder or something at play.
She was a woman. It's obviously her fault. Right? It's not misogynistic.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is how this show goes.
Oh yeah, no.
I think that
no, you're saying no. There was that one lifetime that was the character.
Mrs. Kugel is in the background. She's got a slab of meat pressed to her eye because at some point she got a little crazy at some point today.
Yeah, I was like, that's what she gets.
I've met
she
her.
asked for it.
Totally take him.
Yeah, no. Hey, she cooks for me. Like, trust me. I'd be dead long ago. Like, I know she knows how to poison just a little.
She's trying to kill you the other way.
She knows how to poison just a little. Just to remind you, like, oh, I don't have to kill you. I just make you miserable every time you eat.
Wow.
Oh no! What does that mean? That's like a whole bunch of.
Food's such an easy way to like
Wait,
poison.
he's doing some soft shoe over there.
Like, what's going on?
Backpedal.
When I told him I didn't want him to do the show anymore, I meant the whole fucking shebang.
Look at the silence.
You guys are bad influences, and
yes,
it's
we're
all
the
your
bad
fault.
Influences.
So in this film, he never actually played the bad guy. ever. Like, he was always like this bleeding heart, like fucking like lover boy, even as a homeless dude. Just
kind
like,
of
like
he was bland.
He was never like the big like dominant force of the
No,
household.
he never was. He was never flamboyantly gay and looking for AIDS medication. That's what surprised me. I should have been in there somehow.
He did that the next movie.
Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, is that? Oh, see, I haven't seen it. I have not seen that. That's my own fault for. It's not out in the red box yet, or if it was,
It was out a long time ago. I watched it like months ago. It's great.
Oh well, shit! Then I just didn't pay any attention.
I heard just by the nature of it, it was out. I mean, you know.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
Whoa!
I got to get the drum sound effect because
Heyo!
Hey, nothing wrong with
I've
it.
actually been getting into Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What a great fucking series those lunatics are. Definitely are.
I live in Philadelphia or close to.
Definitely our generation's Three's Company of idiots with a way better storyline. You know, they're just into such mischief and idiocracy that it's just amazing.
What is this?
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, Always Sunny. Oh, sorry, I missed part of that. I guess. I haven't actually watched much of that show.
I've not either.
I like Charlie Day. Especially when he's going on about spaceships.
I don't even know why everybody matters. Like, he's got that voice that is the same for everything he does.
Well, he's also the spaceship Lego guy in the Lego movie.
Oh, yeah.
Movie.
Everything is awesome.
Which, by the way, I realized driving
way.
the other day that his name is Benny, and he's the guy that loves spaceships. It's an Elton John joke.
Right. But Benny and the Jets. Right?
And I didn't get that till the other day. It just kind of, oh, wait a minute.
Hello. Heyo. Oh, see, that's a Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, anyways. I didn't know that either. I thought it was Ed McMahon, and then Saturna was like, oh yeah, sure. It could be Ed McMahon too. Yeah, whatever. What the fucking Americans? Ayo, yeah, fucking Ed McMahon, fuck Ed McMahon. You know, so that was kind of like his.
Turn and wearing Mickey ears while he did that.
He is spectacular with his Mickey ears. You know that, right?
I've one-upped him, and he's upset. He barely gave me a like for that.
Oh, well, you know, that's the way he is. He's very petty when it comes. If you had got him some pink bunny ears, he would have probably burnt his Mickey ears. They have become his trademark thing.
Easily. Oh yeah, easily.
Anyways, yeah.
Now we're off onto stuff that nobody's gonna understand.
Oh, well, no, go to YouTube, Cunt Faggot, on YouTube. Believe it or not, I just said that.
Not to say his name on there, but alright.
Alright, it's actually spelled exactly the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Well, okay then.
Impressive.
I know, it's awful, but he's Canadian, so it's funny.
Yeah, I think it means something different up there.
Yeah, I guess. So I don't even want to say it a second time.
Is it just a straight up Canadian word
cunt
for
paggot?
asshole? Or?
It's not cunt paggot. It's cunt. Anyways. Yeah. Just type in cunt on YouTube. How many other cunts could be on there?
Let's get back to like spoiling the movie. So
no kidding. Lordy. So this film, am I the only one that wondered if this was if this kid literally had like somehow gotten into his mom's like liquid LSD? Like he thought it was her eye drops or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, my eyes are a little red. I didn't sleep much last night, mommy." And he basically, and boom, he's tripping balls, and he basically goes off onto this like hardcore what's his name? Sid Barrett from Pink Floyd. They went on that crazy fucking 20-year trip.
No,
is that
I
what this
think
kid
you're
did?
the only one that thinks this.
No, just me. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. It felt kind of trippy.
Actually, I think a lot of it has to do. They make mentions to things like I just blanked on words. There's a lot of There's a lot of mention of string theory and multiple universes and so on and so forth. I think a lot of it has to do. They make a special point of the Big Bang and the Big Crunch.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And part of it, I think, is when he has this choice to make at the beginning of the movie. It's that whole idea where every choice we make has a whole new branching set of choices that come with it. So choice A means I now have this other choice A, choice B, and so on and so forth. And so when he has to make that choice, it's one of the big split tree decisions. And it creates all these universes.
But there was also the element of the butterfly effect.
Yes.
They did the whole butter. I mean, he put in like all of the, science that you could kind of bring to the table and threw it.
Well, but he also put all
box.
of it in, so you could take your pick
did like
a little
big
bit.
Blender. He did a big blender. Like, you guys can debate this garbage I'm putting together in 10 million different ways, and none of you will be right because there is no point. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, there is no point. What I thought was most interesting, since we're in the spoiler section, and we're getting closer towards the end of the spoiler section. At the end of it, obviously, this guy is the last immortal in this world.
The last mortal. Everybody else is immortal.
Sorry, you're right. Exactly. The last mortal.
Or quasi-immortal.
Quasi, right. Meaning that they all have pigs that have stem cells or something that's going on that revitalize them, essentially.
Yeah, the quasi-immortal, I think, is they can still be killed, but they won't naturally die anymore.
Exactly. That's how they get to that. And there was a almost Truman Show element to it where somebody sneaks in and they're televising, or everybody's waiting for this guy to die because he's the last mortal. He's somehow there was one brief scene.
Or are they all immortals because since he's the only mortal, they're all figments of his imagination. Therefore, that's what gives them all immortality.
There was a semblance of that in that moment. It's, like I was trying to figure, was this all the things that ran through a kid's mind in rapid fire fashion in that one moment, and he ran off, and his idea was to not make that big choice. Like, these are the two, you could say, I think, Mike, you talked about it a little bit, like everything seemed to be down to that moment in that 9-year-old kid's head.
Yeah, it's down to that moment. I don't think necessarily he would be conscious of what the end result of the choices would be, but it's one of those where choice A creates timeline A, choice B creates timeline B, and him making his choice is what creates or doesn't create the timeline. And so when he makes that third choice, everything rolls back because these are the things that were possible, and now that he's made a choice, they're not possible anymore.
So you think
they make a point of saying, if you don't make any choices, all things are possible. Well, he makes a choice at the end of the movie.
So him making the choice to run away creates a thing where he's no longer the last mortal.
Yeah, all of that was this is the end result of choice A, this is the end result of choice B. Those are no longer options, so they're no longer an end result.
After each death, it gets peeled back in conception of possibility to this one element where he runs away.
We all missed it. It was only a matter of like 5 minutes. That kid stood on those tracks long enough that the next train came along, couldn't get stopped in time, and he didn't make a choice at all. He was just squished. Yeah. So the rest of all these other possibilities were just him playing it out in a coma, hanging on for dear life, in their hodunk fucking 70s, whatnot.
Louis, I like the way you twist things up.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, that's the reality of it all. It's like, oh, well, he's living with a colostomy bag and will never be able to touch his own penis.
By the way, did they state why his dad became wheelchair bound?
No.
Did I miss it? Okay.
No, I never saw why.
I don't think it was necessarily important to the story. I was just curious.
It wasn't.
There's probably another hour and a half that they cut out to shorten it up.
Actually, I think there is.
I think there is too. That's what this could, imagine this. Here's what would have been crazy. HBO got this and did 10, like 5 seasons of this.
Oh Lord, no. There's not enough like sister on brother or like sexual encounters to.
It looks like,
I'm looking at the possibilities.
I'm looking at the wiki page right now, and it's apparently the director's cut has an extra 16 minutes.
You gotta be kidding.
Nope.
And you know that you really, I mean, can you imagine like if Terry Gilliam filmed this, it'd be like in like 12 and a half hours.
Well, it also wouldn't have gotten funding, so.
It's true. Well,
well, that's true too.
They were struggling for it.
Well, I think any film that struggles for any funding. Really. I mean, everybody wants a sure thing. You can tell them that I'm going to do a remake of The Room and they're like, oh, what? Well, we're interested. Like the worst film or a remake of Birdemic and that would actually spark
If they did that,
interest.
it's called Birdemic 2.
Yeah. Oh, don't say those things. It's okay if I say it as reference, but when you say it, it just like, that means we're talking about it. And if we talk about it too much, there'll become a buzz. And if a buzz happens, then people will expect us to cover it.
I'm not sure that's true at all. But anyway.
It can get out of control really fast, Mike.
Shit gets weird.
It does. Fast. Quickly. Very quickly.
But anyway, what were we saying?
Vote for Keith in the upcoming elections.
No.
Podcastville isn't going to run itself.
I got news. I'm no longer officially the mayor of my town. I've passed it on to someone else.
What? Yeah. What? So you have been you've been falsely representing yourself as mayor of Podcastville?
Well, only for the last. I certainly was the last time we had a show, but since then, I am still on the commission, but I'm no longer the president.
So what? Are you the secretary?
I am actually.
Ooh, he's the secretary.
Providing no favors.
Did you take the minutes of our last meeting? Here, run it by me real quick.
Please.
No,
it's actually fine. I live in a great town, and
well, I mean, it's probably a lot better now that, you're not mayor.
Exactly.
Trash is getting picked up, and the leaves, they don't fall to the ground anymore. They just somehow get sucked away into the sky. And the new mayor has proposed a dome.
and the dome goes over my house. It does not let me out.
Looks like a big rocker glass turned upside down right over his house.
My mayor status only lives on.
Yeah. Now he's on display. Former mayor.
Hey, I was the first one that married 2 people in our town park, so I'll take that.
Ooh. Did you marry both at the same time? Is that legal? Polygamy? Are you allowed to marry 2 people?
Hey, look, man, if it'd been in Indianapolis, it would have been what, brother and sister, whatever.
Oh, well, that's so Pittsburgh.
It would have been a 4-H convention and whatever we pair together.
That's such a Pittsburgh freaking East Coast thing to say. You don't even know your hillbillies.
I'm not even Pittsburgh. Anyway.
So, no, he actually, Mike, you heard him earlier. He's like, I'm basically Pittsburgh, right? He was like,
I thought he said he was basically Philly, but.
Okay, whatever.
Wrong point in the state.
Whatever. It's all the same bullshit to me.
No, all right. So I propose, as our, we're coming up on the 55-minute mark. I say, what worked for you and what didn't work for you in this movie, and what do you think your ultimate verdict was about this movie? Not a rating, but just what you think.
He never murdered the depressed wife once. I really would have respected him as a character, if he had shown some sort of extreme emotion, but he never did.
So
He was.
wait,
she was right when she flipped out on him about him being dead.
Here, Mike, did you get the impression that Louis' wife was depressed at any point? I mean, now, granted,
I withhold comment because I have met Louis' wife and she scares me a little.
Granted,
no.
If you were married to Louis, you'd be depressed too. But
Our kids beat us down. No. We don't have time to be depressed because the little ones definitely keep you on your toes. No. She was just awful. Like when she was like, oh, it's her birthday, and she went running in and dancing. I was mortified. I was like,
that's
oh
somebody
my God.
having a manic episode.
Yeah. Wow. That's awful.
You've never seen that? I mean, that's classic. And then, he was an enabler.
And it's even a little overplayed. Yeah.
It was, yeah. I mean, all right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I wanted her set on
to get
fire.
the point across. But
exactly. That was overplayed. Right. Even the first scene she was introduced, when she was young, there was this whole thing that she was with some other boy that she loved better than him. Essentially, you had three women. One, was this Sarah Polly or Elise. She was not, correct for him because she had either issues with her personality or she was hung up on some other guy. Then there was the Asian woman, who he didn't really love, but loved him. And then there was his true love,
Anna,
who's also his sister. So I mean, this guy. This guy had fucking issues. She
wasn't actually his sister.
I know, but I mean, come on.
You're my sister. You're my sister. You're my sister.
Look, you guys are much grayer with your technicalities out there in Indianapolis, but on the East Coast we do different things. My mother and father barely lived in the same house together.
Well, and once their parents got divorced from each other, they weren't related anymore. So
yeah, well, they only had 2 children together. Oh man, you guys are terrible. I'm almost.
Yes, we're the terrible ones.
Yes.
No, really. So what do you guys think about this movie?
This is a double watcher, right? This is a film that you watch and you have to honestly, you kind of have to, just force yourself to get through it. There's points that you want to give up because it really drags on, but, once you finish it and you kind of get it, the reveal, I definitely see, watching it again and really being able to appreciate it on a different level.
I think it's a double watcher in the fact that I wouldn't mind watching it again. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it dragged at all.
Well, I think that
I actually didn't realize it had been 2 hours when it was over.
Really, I'll tell you something. So I suggested this to Louis a while ago, and I went and watched it, and I got sleepy at an hour and 40-minute mark, and I paused it for a second. I was like, "Shit, there's 40 more minutes. What are they going to do now?" And they didn't do much that was different. That's my only. I mean, personally, that's my only real thing that says that why this isn't better. And I think, Mike, to your point, part of the reason why this movie was released this last year was Jared Leto won for Dallas Buyers Club. This movie, nobody wanted here in the States.
To be honest with you, I've been watching X-Files here, on Netflix here recently, going back through them, and this easily could have been an X-Files episode, 45 minutes. They could have told this story and kind of ran through this sort of thing. Maybe not got as deep into it, but
got the point across.
Yeah, they could have sold this fucking.
You know what I don't like about that? That's the American fucking scenario where we take shit, and I could point to a bunch of movies where we've taken the European or foreign version of it and really bastardized it to the point that what I really hate, I don't know that they did it in this case. I don't think they did because this was in English essentially.
It was supposed to be his English debut as a director.
Exactly.
So he made it for an American audience.
Right, but he didn't. No, if he didn't.
Well, no, he didn't.
he didn't understand an American audience. You don't make a movie like this as your dad.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure. I think it may be more that American audiences don't understand this kind of movie as a general rule.
Right. But so there's parts that I hate about this movie in the sense that he didn't develop characters in the way that I thought he should, that you felt vested in them. And I get what he was trying to do that was very, I'll use the word existential. It was trying to be erudite. It was trying to be, this great thing. But, you're not going to get as many, people to like it. And there are other movies out there of this nature that deals with these types of things that have done better jobs at it. That being said, I like seeing movies that are not cookie. I've said this 100,000 times before, but they're not cookie cutter. I hate
right.
when,
at least it's not a remake, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hate when I see the Hollywood get a movie that is great in another country, and in the other country, there's a brutality to it, or there's an element to it that would offend an American audience, and they pull it out and they soften it. The ultimate one for me was Old Boy. I mean, recently, but there's a bunch of them like that where
I haven't seen the remake Old Boy yet.
Go see the remake and watch them side by side. And I did. And I'll tell you, that is a perfect example of how, and that was Spike Lee that did that. I mean, that's not, it wasn't like, he's kind of, he softened a movie that I liked it for how awful it was before. You know what I mean? Like,
But then there are also movies though, like Let the Right One In and Let Me In, that I actually liked both versions.
Yeah, well, and one that I saw, and I haven't seen the second one yet, is the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I don't know if those hold up as well, side by side.
American version was awesome.
I've seen them,
but I love Daniel Craig. I am a big fan.
I did too, because of
Bond.
Oh yeah, I mean, Casino Royale is one of my all-time favorite movies ever. Eva Green and Daniel Craig in that movie, that's one of my all-time favorites. And you could say you don't like it, you do like it.
No. Oh yeah, it's awesome.
That to me was the ultimate Bond story. I mean, it was.
It really was. It was a great relaunch back into the series.
I'm not hearing Mike say anything. Mike is.
I just wasn't jumping in.
Ben.
You've kind of gotten talked over a bit sometimes, so I was trying to make sure I didn't. No, I liked it quite a bit. I am not, as a general rule, a huge Bond guy, and I've never figured out why.
Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
I own it, and I own Skyfall.
But as a general rule, I'm not a huge Bond guy. All the markers are there. I should really like it. It just never really struck the right notes for me.
How could you guys like all these, and I'll say, in general, there's a lot of cheesy action flicks and not be into Bond.
I know. I don't understand.
I love my Bond. I actually,
I grew up on. I actually liked, Roger Moore more than I did the other guys when I was.
Oh my goodness, we got a John Cross fan here. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen,
that may be part of it too. I didn't come to the Bond movies until high school age, and maybe it was just a window that I just never, I missed it a little bit.
Here's one of the things. When I was young, and we're getting way off track here, but when I was young, I liked
back when you were watching stuff on 8mm.
Fuck you. I mean that. No, I'm just kidding. No, when I was young, in the 80s, like Roger Moore was the guy, and I really wasn't into the Sean Connery stuff that much because it had this 60s sort of spin to it. It was different in the 60s.
Yep.
When it got to the 80s, it was more nearly slapstick. And I could go on and on about Bond. I mean, I really could, but I used to like Remington Steele, and there was.
Oh yeah.
I grew up in
Pierce Bronson.
When I grew up, a buddy of mine in New Mexico, we always used to pretend like we were Bond agents when I was in like junior high school, And, you know, it was totally, I guess, gay, essentially, but it was, I loved Bond. And I took the,
I don't think you're supposed to use that as a verb like that, or as an adjective.
You're right.
Nowadays,
say, I don't think
it was queer, right? Oh, shit.
I don't think kids, I think kids would not have liked us because of the fact that we liked Bond so much. You know
we play cowboys and Indians, and to be honest with you, we were. If you were an Indian, we tied you to a tree and we set you on fire. Now, tell me how that's not fucked up.
Exactly. Well, yeah, Redskin.
Well, the blankets full of smallpox probably didn't help either.
Oh no, we only did that with the. Oh.
Do you remember the old show Remington Steele?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit, dude.
I always thought
you realized that he would have been Bond one generation earlier, but they didn't like the fact that he was on that show, and they were wanting to cross promote and tie the two together, and so they wouldn't.
It was the best Bond that could have ever been Bond, but then the '90s came, and I hated a lot of that '90s stuff. Like I did not like the Bonds. I took the '90s off. I actually liked what's his name, Dalton. Dalton was a great
Timothy
Bond.
Dalton. And ladies and gentlemen, I am, and like yourselves, probably wondering how the fuck did we get onto like 18 Bond films? From
we
Mr.
got
Nobody?
that way because Traumatic Cinematic is back.
It is back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're done for this evening. We have beat this horse to death, and that felt pretty good.
We need to do a Bond retrospective.
Oh, yeah, and we'll the 2018, ladies and gentlemen, will be the year of the Bond retro. No, I could delve into the Bonds, but to be honest with you, Keith, if we delve into it, there is so many special guests that we would have to bring on to
And all
discuss.
of them are named John Cross.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, no, he would be a mainstay, but there's a David DeMoss that would have to partake in it.
Oh,
there is,
absolutely.
There's a Dr. Paul Croson. There is a Mo Pornay. There's all sorts of individuals out there that would have to partake in the craziness that would be the Bond retrospective. We have always been big into the retrospectives here, and I've been wanting to do like a tournament kung fu, retrospective. So, we used to spend a month on something. Maybe we shouldn't, define it as a month, but maybe we should pick like 3 related shows of a topic.
That's pretty good.
Instead of like actually calling it.
Let's do 2 in a row first.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, like, you know, I'm just saying that these are fledgling ideas that might turn into like flourishing flowers of creativity and awesomeness, or almost
or not
awesomeness, nearly awesomeness. Folks, remember traumaticcinematic.com, TC Podcast Crew on Twitter, Facebook, Traumatic Cinematic. Keith, how do we find you?
I'm here. That's the most important thing. But I will say there's going to be some fun stuff coming up. Got smarts.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Interestingness. Mike, glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Always nice to have we needed a tenor.
I like it. It's a good mix.
It is. Very good mix. Felt good. Enjoyable. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Till next time. Oh, in case you forgot, I'm on the internet.